Welcome to the Doug West Show, where I talk about business and personal development. Yes, those two things are related. And today we're going to talk about my 3 C's of marketing. Why it's essential that you commit to my 3 C's before you launch your marketing. Just so you know who I am, I've decided to start putting this show together because I think I have a lot to offer to young business owners, middle-aged business owners, and old business owners. I have worked in marketing most of my life, owned businesses, and consulted businesses. I've worked with retailers, bankers, doctors, attorneys, auto groups, motorsports, RV companies. I've assisted small startups, and I have consulted well-established multi-million-dollar companies and everything in between. Along with that, because I've had the ups and downs in business. Now, if you're in business, you know there are ups and there are downs, and I've had both of those. And in the down part, when you're in the down part, that's when you're really going to be tested as to who you are in business, and what you stand for, and what you will deliver for your customers. So I was in the down side of this for a while and decided that I needed to make some changes. I needed to do something about me. So I studied personal development. I became a master hypnotist, master practitioner of NLP, and I studied Tony Robbins' human needs psychology extensively so we can understand why we do what we do. So that's a little history about me, and why I'm doing this is because I have a passion to help people be successful. So if this will help you be successful, awesome. I'm going to deliver as much juicy information as I possibly can. I want you to walk away with some notes. So get a piece of paper out with some notes that can really, really help you. If you don't have a piece of paper, at the bottom of this, you can click a link and you can download the PDF that my notes and what I use to put this show together. With that being said, let's get on with my 3 C's of marketing. Like I said, I've been in marketing many years, and I've worked with many companies, startups to well-established companies, small budgets, large budgets. I've worked with these companies, and they all had one thing in common, is they launched their marketing before they committed to these 3 C's, the 3 C's that I've come up with. We're going to go through them, and you're going to need to commit to them. You're going to need to commit that, okay, this is what it's going to take to launch my marketing, to get started, and you're going to be committed to it. Perhaps you're listening to this because you're interested completely in marketing, and that's fine. We're going to cover marketing like inside and out, but most of the time we don't wander around going like, hey, I want to learn about marketing. They offer it in college. Hey, you want to take marketing? Yeah. And so you take marketing, but you don't wander around thinking, hey, I want to become a marketing expert. I want to do the marketing. No, you said, hey, I have a business. I see there's a need here and I have a solution for it. I like to do this. So I want to be in business to help people, maybe build houses, maybe sell cars, maybe sell clothing. Maybe you provide a service, you're an attorney or a doctor or something something that people want, a real estate agent. And so you don't think, hey, I'm going to have to become a marketer, but you are. You're going to have to understand marketing, and that's why you're here, is maybe you're trying to get a better understanding of marketing. And I get that. Because as I've talked with business owners and marketing directors, marketing managers, they have to become an expert at marketing. In fact, here's a little piece of advice. It's kind of off topic. You're going to have to become an expert at marketing, somebody who does marketing but sells or provides a service for. So you're going to become an expert at marketing, or you're going to have to hire somebody that is an expert at marketing, but you're still going to have to understand what is going on. You're building a business on sheer enthusiasm will get you so far, but really hasn't pushed you over the top. And so now you're looking to market so you can grow your business, or you've been in business a while and now a competitor's moved down the street. They're taking some of your business away, or you're finding, hey, I have to have a sale more often than I should in order to get the customers in, or you've been in business a long time. You notice that your customer base is eroding. And so you need to do some retention work. You need to do something that will help keep those customers, your long-term customers, locked in. A while back, I was working with a retailer and they sold men's clothing. And they'd been in business a long time. They're still in business, but they've been in business. They started like 50 years ago. And they started in the downtown area. They had their own building. They had their own shop. They had the windows that people could walk by and look in when people did their window shopping in the downtown areas. And they were quite successful. Over a period of 25, 30, 40 years, shopping changed. They started building malls near neighborhoods, and people started putting their stores in malls because one of the 4 C's of marketing is convenience. And malls built near neighborhoods because then it would be more convenient for people to come to the mall, and they'd be inside, they'd be in air conditioning, they'd be out of the cold, it'd just be easier, they could walk by the shops, and business moved to these areas. Every city almost has their malls and the businesses located around their malls. They notice if they build a mall, it takes about a 10-year cycle to get businesses to move out there. And so this business that I was working with, they were concerned because their customer base was eroding through, one, deaths, right? They'd been in business long enough, part of their customer base was actually dying. The other is business had actually moved to the outskirts of town, to the neighborhoods, and so they had less foot traffic, less people coming downtown, and they were getting left behind. So eventually they had to kick up their marketing and attract new customers. They had to re-engage with their customers, and then they had to work on retention and eventually move their business out to where the customers are. Marketing can and does and will play a vital role in your business. So I know for some reason you're interested in marketing right now. Marketing is essential because that's how you communicate with your customers. Now, as you begin to use marketing to solve the needs and concerns you have about your business and business growth and the retention, the very first thought that comes in is, how much is this going to cost me? And perhaps you don't even have a budget for these activities. Your number one thing is like, what's it going to cost me? I built this business because you have the idea, if I build it, they will come. And yeah, that's true to a point, but eventually you have to invite them to come and you have to tell them where you're at and you have to explain to them what you're doing so that you can solve your customers' needs. The very first question typically is, well, how much is this going to cost? And that's a good one. I'm going to address that here in one of the C's here. The next thing that people want to know is, how often do I have to do this? How often do I have to get a message out? How often do I have to talk to people? How often? What's this going to take? And I translate this to mean for a business owner who's already busy doing everything else in a business, and now all of a sudden you say, I'm going to do marketing on top of it. Well, so I translate all this to mean, will this be inconvenient or convenient? And do I have to carve out more time? The simple answer to that is yes and yes. Yes, it will be convenient. Yes, it will be inconvenient. Yes, you're going to have to carve out more time. There's going to be time and effort spent in your marketing. Time and effort spent in your marketing. So yes, it's going to cost you. Yes, you're going to spend time and effort there. And then about this point, when I'm face to face with somebody, I can tell they're looking at me and saying like, well, what am I going to say to my customers? Right? Because this is a long-term thing, right? And so you say, well, what am I going to say? What will I say to them? And I always tell people we're going to say exactly what the customer needs to hear so they can make a decision to come into your shop, your store, your business, get your service, use you to solve their problems, their needs, their issues. That's what we're going to say to them. And they say, well, how's that going to work? And I say, well, you started your business for a reason. And so there's your story. And the reason why you started it is because it resolves X amount of issues. And you know how to do that. And so that's what you're going to tell them. So you're going to tell them your story, and you're going to talk to them about the issues, and you're going to talk to them about the solution, right? So if I'm looking for a pair of shoes, you're going to tell the story about why you own a shoe shop. Maybe you're a cobbler and you actually repair shoes. It's a super quality shoe. I used to go to a cobbler and he would repair my shoes. I was buying shoes that were worth repairing. I would go in, he would repair my shoes, but then he would also talk to me about fitting shoes, and he would resolve my issue. Let's get into the 3 C's. The first of my 3 C's is that you'll need to understand, regardless of where you're at in your business, if you're just starting, you're going to need this. If you've been in business for 10, 15 years, you're going to need this. If it's an established business and you're the marketing director and you're going to go in and talk to the CEO and all these people, you're going to definitely need this. So this is the first C, consistent marketing. What do I mean by consistent marketing? Once you start, you don't stop. forever. If you determine you can only communicate with your customer once a month, then you share your message once a month, forever. Yeah, that's right. Forever. You never stop. Have you ever been driving down the interstate? You're going along at 80 miles an hour, and then next thing you know, you're slowing down, and you're at a stop, and the cars in front of you are, a mile ahead of you are all stopped, and a mile in back of you are all stopped, and you're in this gridlock thing. And then it starts, you get going, and then it stops. And then you notice, hey, the other lane's going a little faster, so you try to switch lanes, and then it stops. And it start, stop. You know how frustrating that can be. Well, with your marketing, if you are like that point on the freeway and you're starting and you're stopping, well, your customer's not going to know if you're starting in business or if you're blocked or stopped out of business. So you have to be consistent with your marketing. So if you determine that you're going to do some marketing, that you're going to start your marketing, then you're going to have to be consistent. Always on, all the time, forever. Now, I didn't say you had to be on every single day. If your budget just does not allow you to do something every single day, then you're not going to be on every single day. But if it will allow you to do something once a week or once every other week or once a month, then you're going to be consistent with that timing. So I work with a client, they can only be on once a month. So I help them build their content, get that content out once a month, but extremely consistent. So you have to be consistent in your marketing. So C number 1 of my 3 C's is once you start, you don't stop. So you're gonna have to determine if that's what you can do with your marketing, with your company. C number 2, develop a budget, right? Determine your marketing budget. I suggest that you set a monthly budget, whatever it might be. Now you can use a percentage of sales to determine your budget, or you can just come up with a fixed number, but whatever you do there, it becomes your budget. And so you create your marketing budget and you stick to it forever. So if you decide that your budget is $1,000 a month, it's $1,000 a month. That's where you're starting forever. And you determine what you can do and how much you can do for that $1,000, and then you do it every single month. If it's $10,000, it's $10,000. If it's $100,000, it's $100,000. And I have worked with budgets at $1,000 and less, and I've worked with budgets at $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month. I'm telling you, you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent with your budget. So if you've started your C number 1, you started your marketing and you're consistent with your marketing budget, you have to be consistent with your budget. So you have to say, yes, this is my budget and this is how much I will spend every single month. It never changes unless your business is growing and you increase it, but it never goes backwards. It only goes forwards. It only becomes more and more and more. So you can do more marketing. So you have to determine a budget that you will be consistent at. You will spend that money every single month. So that means if your budget is $10,000 a month, you're going to spend $120,000 a year. That becomes your budget, and you're going to figure out how to spend that. And that's other discussions, but C number 2, have a budget and be consistent. Be consistent. Okay, C number 3, a consistent message, right? So you've determined you're going to market, you've determined a budget, and you're being consistent at those 2. Yes, you are doing it every single month. Now you have to have a consistent message. So you have to determine what is relevant to your customers. You might have to do a little homework here. You might have to kind of give this some thought, but you're going to give your customers the information and the products that resolve their needs. I kind of touched on it just a little bit ago. You have a story and you have a product. You have the way to resolve their issue. And so you tell your story and then you show them how to resolve their issue. Just like I mentioned with the cobbler, my shoes would need to be repaired. I could take them in there. He told me what I needed to do to maintain my shoes, how often I should bring them in, and he helped me keep my shoes in very good condition. You have the same thing, so tell your story. Now, you're going to have a temptation. Say you've been telling your story for like a year. You're going to have a temptation. I need to change my story. I need to say something different because everybody's tired of hearing about my story. Resist the temptation. Resist it. Keep telling your story. Tell the same story. And if your story is delivered correctly, Your customers will know your saga better than you know your saga, and they want to share your story with everyone they know, right? Worked with a company, large company, and we created a story for them. And it was literally their story. They wanted to sell to people and help people build their memories and stuff like that. And so we built their story around what they do, and then why they were in business and how it resolved the issues. It can be done, but you're going to have to be consistent with it. A consistent story. Again, consistent marketing. Yes, I'm started. I don't stop ever. Yes, I have a budget. This is my budget month in and month out. And here's my message that is consistent with what I'm doing. And you deliver it properly and people will respond. As you consider launching your marketing, be sure you're committed to these 3 C's. Be sure you're committed to my 3 C's. Because if you're committed to them, then your marketing will be much more successful. But you have to be committed to the my 3 C's. Committed to your marketing, committed to your budget, and committed to your message. If you would like a copy of this, I have this on PDF. You can download it or you can listen to it again and again. But the PDF has some additional details in it for you if you would like to have them, or you can pick this up at my website. If this was helpful, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, get notifications about more upcoming videos. We'll cover more on marketing and more on business and the personal development that it takes to go along with it as well. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time, have a successful day.